Hello again, Ross Neath. Here we go. We're going to start the book. Remember, I'm reading to you The Midnight Gang. And here comes chapter 1. Midnight is the time when all the children are fast asleep, except, of course, the Midnight Gang. That is the time when their adventures are just beginning. Chapter 1. Monster Man. Ah! Screamed the boy. The most monstrous face he had ever seen was peering down at him. It was the face of a man, but it was completely lopsided. One side was larger than it should have been, and the other was smaller. The face smiled, as if to calm the boy down, only to reveal a set of broken and rotten teeth. This made the boy even more scared than before. Ah! He screamed again. "You'll be all right, young sir. Please try and be calm," slurred the man. His face was so misshapen that so was his speech. Who was this man, and where was he taking the boy? It was only then the boy realised he was lying on his back, staring straight up. It felt almost as if he was floating. But something was rattling. He was rattling. The boy realised he must be lying down on a trolley with wonky wheels. His head clouded with questions. Where was he? How did he get here? Why couldn't he remember a thing? And most importantly, who was this terrifying man-monster? The trolley travelled slowly down the long corridor. The boy could hear the sound of something being dragged along the floor. It sounded like the squeak of a shoe. He looked down. The man was limping, just like his face. One side of his body was smaller than the other. So the man was dragging his withered leg along with him. It looked like every movement might be painful. Bang! A pair of doors swung open and the trolley trundled into the room and came to a stop. Then some curtains were drawn round the boy. "I hope that wasn't too uncomfortable, young sir," said the man. The boy thought it was curious that this man called him sir. He'd never been called sir in his life. He was only 12. Sir was a title reserved only for teachers at his boarding school. "Now just wait here. I'm just the porter. Let me get the nurse." "Nurse!" As he lay there, the boy felt strangely disconnected from his own body. It felt limp, lifeless. The pain, though, was in his head. It was throbbing, hot. If the feeling could be a colour, it would be red. A bright, hot, raging red. The pain was so intense he closed his eyes. When he opened them, he realised he was staring straight up at a bright fluorescent light. This made his head ache even more than before. Then he heard the sound of footsteps approaching. The curtain was whisked back. A large, older lady in a blue and white uniform with a hat leaned over and examined the boy's head. Dark circles framed her bloodshot eyes. Grey, wiry hair squatted on her head. Her face was red raw, as if she had scrubbed it with a cheese grater. In brief, she had the appearance of someone who had not slept for a week and was angry about it. "Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie me," she muttered to no one in particular. In his confused state, the boy took a moment to realise this woman was in fact dressed as a nurse. At last, the boy realised where he was. A hospital. He'd never been in one before, except the day he was born. He couldn't remember that. The boy's eyes drifted up to the lady's name badge. Nurse Mees, Lord Funt Hospital. "That is a bump. A big bump. A very big bump. Now does this hurt?" she said as she poked the boy hard on his head with a finger. "Ow!" he screamed so loudly it echoed along the corridor. Some slight pain, muttered the nurse. Now, just let me get the doctor. Doctor! The curtain was whisked across and then back again. As the boy lay there, staring at the ceiling, he could hear the sound of footsteps departing. Doctor! She barked out again, now some way down the corridor. Coming, nurse, came a voice from far off. Quickly, she shouted. Sorry, said the voice. Then there was a sound of footsteps approaching at speed. The curtain was whisked back again. A young, pointy-faced man breezed in, his long white coat trailing behind him. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, announced a posh voice. It was the doctor, and he was somewhat out of breath, having had to run. Looking up, the boy read the man's name badge. Dr. Loopers. This is a big bump. Does it hurt? The man took out a pencil from his breast pocket. He then held one end and tapped the boy's head with it. Ow! The boy screamed again. It wasn't as bad as being jabbed by that gnarly old finger, but it still hurt. Sorry. Please don't report me. I've only just graduated as a doctor, you see. I won't, muttered the boy. Are you sure? Quite sure. Thank you. Now I need to make sure I cross the I's and dot the T's. I just have a little admissions form to fill in. The man then proceeded to roll out a form that looked like it might take a week to complete. The boy sighed. So, young man, began the doctor in a sing-song tone that he hoped might make this boring task fun. What's your name? The boy's mind went blank. He'd never forgotten his own name before. Name? Asked the doctor again, but try as he might, the boy couldn't remember it. I don't know, he sputtered. That's the end of chapter 1.